Hello. Okay, today we're going to talk about saving money once you're on board your Disney cruise. We've talked before about how to save money when booking your Disney cruise. So now let's talk about some ways to maybe cut back on spending a little bit on board. Now, having said that, I have done sailings where I have spent a lot of money, and I've done sailings where I've barely spent a dime, where I really just enjoyed the ship and everything there was to offer and all the included things there were to offer, didn't much at all. So, neither one is wrong. There are reasons for both. But let's say you are going on a cruise and you want to cut back on your spending a little bit at the end. A little bit more. So at the end, you don't get off and say, my goodness, what is this bill there? What on earth did I do? So if you want to cut back, here are some tips. All right. So first, let's talk about food. Food on board a Disney cruise is everywhere. There are so many options for food, and almost all of them are fully included in the price of your cruise. So there's no need to spend a dime on food once you're on board. Now, you may decide you want to. You may want to try those adult upcharge dining locations. Highly recommend that you do. You may want to get some ice cream from the sweet shops, things like that, where they sell gelato and they sell some fun cupcakes and things like that. You may want to do that, and that is totally fine. But you don't have to spend anything on food. There's so much of it. If you have a free adult upcharge dining included because of your Castaway Club status, then yes, absolutely do it. Although you are going to spend some money on a gratuity there, so it won't be free, but you will have a great deal for eating there. So some of the places that you may want to avoid that do charge for food would be the adult upcharge locations, Remy, Enchante, or Palo Steakhouse. Those all charge, so you may want to avoid them if you are trying to save money. You also will want to avoid those aforementioned sweet shops because once you get inside, it's hard to turn it down. But the good news is there's free ice cream right around the corner. Cake. There's all kinds of other things you can get somewhere else. So you don't have to spend any money on there and you will still have your sweet tooth fully satisfied. Don't worry about that at all. Also, when you're going somewhere like the movie theater, they're going to sell a lot of packaged snacks right outside. They're also going to sell hot, fresh popcorn, which is very hard to turn down. If you happen to be sailing concierge, you will get popcorn free, which is great, and it truly is free. They often won't even give you a slip to sign. I ask them for a slip sometimes if I can sign and add a gratuity on there, but it is truly free. The packaged snacks, M&Ms, things like that, those are going to cost money. It's another one of those, if you really feel like you have to have some M&Ms, bring some. Get some from the snack shop for a pretty decent price. There are some ways to do that, but really, do you need M&Ms when there's so much other good food? And I love a good M, but do you need M&Ms when there's so much other great options, so many other great options on board? I don't think you do. So don't feel like you have to buy that popcorn or those snacks when you're going in there. Those are going to cost a little bit more. Also, room service is included. And you're going to pay a little bit for gratuity to the person that brings your room service, but almost everything on that menu is included. And the exception to that are the packaged snacks, again, as well as packaged drinks like Coke cans and some alcohol, things like that. There is going to be a charge for those. But otherwise, room service is included. So much great food. You don't need to buy anywhere. We also make a point when we go off the ship for excursions and whatnot, we try to eat a really big meal before going off if we don't want to spend money in port. Now, sometimes there are some ports where I really feel like you want to spend money in port. You want to spend money on food in Europe, in some of these amazing locations. But there are times when you're not going to want to spend money on food. There's great food on board. There's no reason to spend money off the ship. So make sure you eat a really big meal before you get off. If you have some packaged snacks, you could bring those off. There's no reason, though, to spend money on food once on shore. You can pop back over to the ship and eat and then get back off. If you're on one of Disney's islands, then they have their own food there. You don't have to get back on. Everything's included there on the island, all the food. So there's no real reason to spend money when you're ashore unless you want to, and sometimes you do. All right, next up, we will talk drinks. First, we're going to talk about non-alcoholic drinks because it's much easier to save money on those. Disney has many options included for non-alcoholic drinks, more than just about any other major cruise line. And the Cokes, sodas, juices, milk, water, coffee, they are all available at the drink stations on board at no charge, which is unusual for a major cruise line, but standard for Disney. They are also all available in the dining rooms, and you can even mix it up a little bit, get maybe a Shirley Temple, all included. So try to save your soda cravings for a mealtime in the dining rooms or the buffet, Cabanas or Marceline, or go up to the drink stations and get something there. There's lots of options. I think you'll find just about something for everyone. Oh, unless you're a Pepsi drinker, you're not going to find anything there. I'm a Coke Zero drinker, so I'm very happy. One little tip about those soda stations, and this is maybe a little bit off topic, but every type of soda is not offered at every stand. So if you go to one of the stands to get some Coke Zero and there's none there it is at another one, at another location. You just kind of have to figure out which one has the drink you want. Make sure you go to those. There's coffee. I know big time coffee lovers do not love the free coffee on board, but there is free coffee on board, so you do not have to spend money on coffee. There is also water available on board. It's fully potable, and I'm not a water drinker myself. Don't tell anybody, but the water on board is just fine. You will not get sick drinking the water on board. Don't feel like you have to spend money on bottled water and whatnot unless you want to spend money on bottled water. There is also the option to bring some water or soda on board. Like, I really love to have a Coke Zero in the morning right when I wake up. And I don't want to have to get dressed to go up to the drink stations to get something. So I like to bring a box of sodas on board with me. And I remember getting back on board in Alaska once, and I had Coke Zero. I had a box of Coke Zero that I purchased in port. And the security guard, who was not from the ship, was sitting there checking IDs before he let people to walk down the path through the ship. He said, "Don't they have those on board?" I said, "They do, but not in my room." And he said, "Good point, good point." So I make sure I have cans of soda in my room in the mini fridge. I just put them in the mini fridge. And I will either bring on a package on board, and if I'm really desperate, I might buy some in the bar too, a can in the bar to take back to the room with me and put in the fridge. But in general, I try to bring a box on board with me, and I'll buy some more in port if I'm on a particularly long cruise or if I need to. I can also bring on, anybody that is a water drinker, you can bring on a case of water. You can also buy some before you get on, and Disney will deliver it to your room, cheaper than buying as you go once on board. And you can, if you do bring a case of water on board, the one catch is that you'll have to, in Coke, keep it in your carry-on. And so you're gonna be stuck with it until your stateroom opens up that first afternoon. It's not a huge deal. Maybe you take a carry-on just full of water so you can roll it around and not have to carry it. There are times when the porters will take that case of water and put a tag on it. They're not supposed to, so don't count on that. Having to carry around whatever you bring on board and decide if it's worth it to you to save some and to bring it on board with you. It is for me because I like the convenience of it, but decide if it's worth it to you. Okay, for alcohol on board. This is a tough one for me because I am a teetotaler all my life. I do not drink alcohol, but I also travel with people that drink alcohol frequently, so I have learned a few things to save money on alcohol on board. One thing I know is bringing your own on board is less expensive than purchasing it once you get on. So Disney has a very liberal policy for bringing alcohol on board. Each adult over 21 and up can bring on up to 2 bottles of champagne or wine, unopened, of course, or 6 bottles of beer. And they can do that in every single port. So let's say you brought on a couple bottles of wine. A few days later, you're out. You need to get some more, get some in port and bring it back on. As long as you fit those rules, there's those limitations, you can bring it back on board in every port. And it's for every adult. So that's a lot of alcohol that you could bring on board. You can call room service and they will help you with something to open it with, a cork, wine opener. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm calling that the right thing. They will bring you something. They'll bring you wine glasses. They'll bring you champagne glasses so you can enjoy it in your stateroom. And if you do take it to the restaurants, they are going to charge you a corking fee. $25, $35. It does vary a little bit, and the price does change. They are going to charge you a corking fee. They will also, that's great though, if you're only going to drink half of it, because they will cork it up and take it with them and bring it to the next restaurant the next night. You won't have to pay a corking fee the next night. But I've often heard that you are still saving money, even with the corking fee, a lot of the time, depending on what champagne or wine you are purchasing on board. You would want to purchase on board. So that can be a good deal as well. Now, if you're looking for something outside of what you've brought on board, I've seen every day, I know there's every day, there's the drink of the day. There's a non-alcoholic drink of the day and an alcoholic drink of the day. Those are always less expensive than the other drinks that you can purchase, so you can save a little bit there. You can also save by buying the beer mug on board and using that if you're a big beer drinker. You can also save if you order a wine package or a beer package before you get on board, and Disney will deliver it to your room, and that will cost less. If you are a platinum or up cruiser, if you've sailed more than 10 times, you can choose your platinum gift, and they deliver it to the room, and one of the options I know is champagne or Prosecco, sparkling wine. I know I do have some friends that are big fans of the sommelier bin. And what that is on board is, I believe I understand this correctly, it's a surprise. I know that. It's a surprise what you're going to get. You're going to pay a flat fee for a glass of wine, and they're going to go to the sommelier bin, which is whatever bottles have been opened earlier. I've not gone bad yet, but what bottles they have open at the moment, and they want to finish it off because someone didn't finish it. And so they will pour whatever they have in their sommelier bin for you for that price. And sometimes apparently you're getting some really, really expensive drinks for a very good price, $13 a glass, something like that. Sometimes you're getting a really good deal there. Sometimes you're, paying about what it's worth. You never know what it's going to be because you just don't know what people have opened before that. So that's one good tip for you there when you're in a lounge at night, to ask about the sommelier bin. And there are a few times where there will be some alcohol included in an activity that you're participating in on board. For instance, if you happen to be on board for a special celebration, maiden voyage, things like that, they're going to have some New Year's Eve. They're going to have some celebration glasses of champagne that they will pass out on the top deck, on the pool decks. You also, on formal night, they often have drinks that they will pass out, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, right before 30 minutes or so before the dining times, and you can check your times there in the navigator. There's also, if you went to DVC presentation, they will have something. If you are at a platinum, if you're on a longer cruise and you're at one of those, you're at a Castaway Club reception, then they will also have some drinks, usually non-alcoholic and alcoholic, to pass around. So those are good options if you're looking for something, just a few drinks here and there, or one or two drinks here or there. Another way to save money is on excursions. Now, Disney has some great excursions, and there are some itineraries where I think excursions are very important. One of those being Alaska. I think Alaska has some amazing excursions, and especially if this is a one-time kind of thing for you, you don't want to miss out on any of them. So absolutely, book some excursions. It's worth it. Sometimes you can save some money by not booking through Disney and getting a similar experience. That's, and sometimes you'll want to do that just because, like, maybe when you're booking it yourself, you can book a longer tour, say at the beach, things like that. So there are times when you'll want to book outside of Disney. And then there are other times where you're just going to go off on your own. Maybe you're just going to walk around the port. Maybe you're going to take a taxi to a beach. If you're just doing a beach, you just want to go to the beach for the day. Sometimes you can just take a taxi and save a lot of money doing it on your own. As I said, there are some great excursions through Disney, and I do recommend them. But if you're trying to save some money, there are also times when it's just fine to go out on your own. Maybe you want to stay on the ship one day if you're not particularly excited about where you're visiting. It doesn't happen too often, but there are times when you may decide you would rather just stay on board the entire day and just enjoy the ship. Make it your own sea day. Save a lot of money. That works too. There are some savings to be had in the stores, and that is for certain Castaway Club levels as well as DVC, Disney Visa holders, card holders. You can save a little bit of money in the store, usually 10%. And it's notated on your Key to the World card, so they should know that you're saving money. And there are some things that are excluded from that, but you can save some money with that on most merchandise on board. I think I'm pretty safe saying most on board. There are exceptions, but in general, there's some good discounts there, some shopping discounts. Another way to save on shopping is to buy some of your souvenirs before you get on board. It's not quite as fun, but there are some ways to save, especially for things that you know you're going to want to buy and they're cheaper before you get on. Maybe you're going to the Disney Character Warehouse before you get on. You can find some good savings then. Maybe you have a child that wants to go to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and they're really going to want a princess dress. Get a princess dress before you go on board, before you get on board. If you find one that's just as pretty, they're going to be just as excited about. It's going to save you a lot of money. So also pens. There's some ways to get pens beforehand that are not as expensive as the ones you get on board. I don't want to rob you of the joy of shopping on board because I'm a shopper at heart for sure. But if you really are afraid you're going to spend too much or your kids are going to want too many things once you're on there and it's hard to say no, then you may consider buying some of them before you get on. Photography on board. Now, I am a photographer. I love taking pictures. I love taking my own pictures on a cruise. But there are times also where the photographer can get something that I just can't get. I don't have the lights set up once on board. I don't. Maybe there's too many of us and I can't get everybody in my frame very easily. There are times when you'll want to use the photographers on board. There are also times when you're going to be perfectly happy with your own picture. So if you think you're going to want to be in a lot of the pictures or you don't want to mess with it, the photography package is a great deal. And it's a great way to preserve those memories. And I'm always going to be in favor of preserving those memories through photographs. I would recommend that you purchase the photography package before you get on board because you will save on it if you do it that way. If you get on board and realize you are not really spending time taking pictures and you don't have any after a few days, you can certainly go and ask for a refund on that, but you can't have downloaded any pictures at that point. If you've downloaded even a single picture, that's not going to work. So you may want to hold off on downloading for a few days just to make sure. But I think the vast majority of people will find that they are using those photographers and they're getting a lot of pictures and they're going to want to keep it. So buy it before you get on board. If you do decide you want to take your own pictures, there is always someone around to take a picture for you so you can jump into the picture. The Disney photographers in general are not allowed to hold your camera or your phone and take a picture. So don't ask them, but there's always somebody in line behind you. If there's a character handler there, they're happy to do it for you. Or Disney employees can, just not the Disney photographers. So, but in desperate times, if there was no Disney employee standing there besides a photographer, I've absolutely asked the guests behind me, and they were happy to do it. So there are options to take your own photos and save a little bit of money if you would prefer to do it that way. Another kind of funny way that we always saved money on board, or we felt like we were saving money on board, was to save our new movie releases to watch on board. If Disney was coming out with a new movie around the time that we were going to be sailing, or within a few weeks of us sailing, we would wait and see it on board. Felt so good not to spend, $60 on movie tickets before we went. All four of us could go see it on board and have just as much fun. Maybe even more fun because you're on a cruise in a Disney theater. So that's one way to save. See what's playing, anticipate what Disney movies are coming out, what's going to be playing on board, and don't spend the money on it before you go. Save it till you get on the ship. You can find out what movies are playing by calling Disney and asking. I would wait until 10 days before, 7 days before, and they have a good schedule of what's going to be playing there, so you'll know if it's something you want to wait and see then. Okay, those are my biggest tips for saving money once you're on board. So what did I miss? What other ways have you found to save money once you're on board so you don't have an ugly surprise at the end of your cruise with a giant bill?